Hello dear Sinceres, my name is Cindy Sincere and I'm an astrologer and holistic coach. In this video, we will be talking about the full moon in Pisces that is going to happen in the days 9th, 10th, depending where you are in the world. But just before we start, I just want to make a quick announcement for my upcoming astrology course starting in October, where you will learn everything about astrology, how to read your natal chart, how to read other people's natal chart, how to interpret many different things like relationships with others, understand your life, your past, your future, make predictions, and read the magical cosmic language of the stars. So if you are interested, please make sure you sign up in the link below so that you get sent an email with all the information when it's ready to go. And now let's start with the full moon in Pisces. So full moons are periods where the energy that had been building up from the new moon peaks and gets more intense. This is a period where the moon is opposite the sun and therefore is an aspect of tension, of opposition. It feels uneasy, it feels very strong and very intense. And also when we hear talking about the full moon as states of lunacy and stories about werewolves, vampires, ghosts and the likes, there's a reason for that. It's also a period when people tend to be more anxious, more aggressive, more tense and more impulsive. So this full moon in Pisces that is taking place in UK on the 10th of September will be at 70 degrees 39 minutes, which means that will be on a Cancer decan and Libra duad. Full moons tells us to do a kind of a recheck of whether we are on the right path. Are we going in the right direction? Are we going on the direction we intended to go to achieve our goals? But also to seek our sense of balance. Are we too obsessed with one side of this opposition? Is it time to let go of something that is not working or that is not serving us? The moon is mirroring the light of the sun, so it's showing its polar opposite. And since the sun is in Virgo, the opposite, the moon, will be in Pisces. The Pisces moon is connected to dreams, spirituality, going deeper, surrendering, finding peace, communicating with the spiritual world, communicating with the divine, with finding a deeper meaning and finding a deeper purpose with unconditional love. But it's very much also about detachment of the material, of life, with kind of surrendering to a higher spiritual truth, to the divine, to seeing higher spiritual realities. This full moon is also conjunct one of the co-rulers of Pisces, which is Neptune. And Neptune talks about this magical world, this world of illusion, of fantasy, of idealism, of perfection that usually tends to disappoint, especially when Saturn tends to call us out to reality, because Saturn is the planet of reality. So for some of us who are highly spiritual, we like Neptune because it reminds us of the spiritual perfection that we so deeply aspire to, the return to the source, to the high consciousness. However, the consciousness of our humanity currently is not yet ready for the full manifestation of the outer planets, which are of a much higher consciousness. So we tend to manifest instead their lower aspects. Neptune is such planet that is outer planet and that is of a much higher consciousness. So most of us, as we are still journeying through life where we haven't deeply understood and realized the deeper spiritual truths, and these are not religions, New Age, or any outer ideas, but very deep spiritual truths that we realize from within, that we are rather following and channeling and flowing a wisdom that we are channels from, that comes directly from source. So instead, our tendency is then to get stuck in a wall of mirrors that seem to be truths we seek, but actually They are as if we were waking up in a dream within a dream within a dream within a dream, believing we are awake while we still dreaming. By understanding the planets that rule a sign, then we can better understand how that sign will then manifest, because it will very much be according to the ruler's characteristics. Neptune is the master of illusions, of magic, of fantasy, movies, media, television, glamour, music, arts, cartoons, mystery, the hazy mists that conceals and clouds shapes into mirages, things, people, and images. It seems real, but it isn't. Everything is possible, but is not necessarily reachable into the concrete. It can seem to be here one moment, only for us to then realize that it actually was never there. It's the planet of psychics, of mediums, intuitives, of the thinning and the kind of crossing the veil in between worlds, this world and the next. So this planet also speaks of us on the negative side, on the shadow side, of drugs, escapism, mental illness, delusion, numbing, trying to find relief from the cruelty and the pain of life, or even one's hypersensitivity to feel too much or hurt too much. Pisces inherits all of these things, but also inherits for the other ruler, which is Jupiter. So in the Jupiterian side of Pisces, what we get is a higher truth, the divine higher truth that is objective, but not necessarily always clear. We get the optimism and the positivity to make one's own dreams come true. We get the meaning, the purpose, the motivation, the going forward, a kind of a compass to guide our morals, our life, the endless generosity, the love of God, and that same love flowing in us as unconditional love for our fellow divine brothers and sisters. This is a deeper level than Aquarius, because Aquarius, though, is a very humanitarian sign. Here in Pisces, we are on a plane beyond the physical somehow, where we all originate from and where there is no separation. Pisces is the endless ocean from where life once came from, the birth waters from the mother's womb, the receiver of the ashes of those who die, because many people will put the ashes in the ocean, is the place where we dissolve into oneness. Jupiter, the dispositor, is also in Aries, so this moon will also have some boldness. Might be a little bit sometimes too self-confident, cocky, thinking to know without questioning about those deeper truths, or trying to get others to follow them. Could be a little bit impulsive, brash. Aries also rules the head, and Pisces is very connected to mental illnesses. So we might also see an increase in interest in mental health, or in neuroscience, or new medicine advancements, or healing methods. So in this full moon, we can find all of these themes in our lives, as the opposition is with Virgo. It can also be good to ask ourselves, when is a good time to stop hyper-analyzing and to simply listen to one's own intuition, to let go of the same everyday routine that repeats every day the same way, and to then explore deeper realities of life, of our true essence, of our existence. To perhaps go on a spiritual retreat, or spend some time meditating and quieting the mind, or looking after one's own mental health. To be aware of our mechanisms of escapism, of numbing ourselves, of forgetting. Where do we tend to procrastinate and run from the methodic, consistent work? Or is it then that we are allowing ourselves Are we allowing ourselves to have dreams and to see life as more than this everyday repetition, to more than just securing plans to feel safe and secure and never dare to do anything or realize any dream? That security that never lets us dare into the unknown because of the fear of not knowing or what we are doing in a foreign territory, or seeing the beautiful islands because we cannot see the beautiful land, the earth immediately on the horizon if we are in the ocean? Or is it the case that we are drowning in chaos without any organization, any structure, any plan? Or where are we lacking direction or a firm, steady, solid path? So these are questions that this opposition of Virgo Sun and Pisces Moon, we can be asking ourselves, where do we find our balance? In the full moon, issues can be heightened, so some issues you're going through, and those issues can actually become more visible. And it's up to us to find the balance between these oppositions. Well, on this full moon, we will have also Mars in Gemini, which will be squaring the Sun and the full moon. So energies might get even more intense. Our minds might get hyperactive. We may say things that we might regret later. We might feel that information we receive is too overwhelming, too fast for us to even have time to process it, or that we don't have time to check its veracity. Moon in Pisces and Mars in Gemini talk also of a more fluid imagination. We may think that the information we hear is correct, but as it came too fast, we might actually alter that information to what we hear and then tell something a little bit different. As for the lack of clarity and accuracy, this might be also at a public level or from our information channels. So here we really need to question the things that we hear, if they are truth or false, but also what we then also communicate to other people, to others. Is that correct information, or is that how we heard it, or is it different? At the same time, we might want to listen more spiritual information, but not knowing what feels as solid information for us. Mercury is in opposition to Jupiter, and also it can bring a certain level of thinking that one knows more than it actually does. A certain tendency to overvalue one's own opinion or intellectual prowess, and even be a little bit arrogant about it, about what they think, a bit overly confident about their own opinions and ideas, and even to exaggerate information. So this is what I thought to be the most important to mention about this upcoming full moon in Pisces. I hope you have enjoyed. We still continue with the same aspects that we spoke before between Uranus and Saturn square, but we spoke a lot about this already in previous videos, so I will not repeat the same thing in this video. So I want to say thank you for watching. I hope you have enjoyed this video, and if so, please remember to press like, subscribe, so I can bring more videos to you and make more videos for this channel, get your help with algorithms, and I hope to see you next time. May the cosmos and the stars be with you.